It's interesting too. Yep, there it is. So, I mean, of course, people know me that I wear jeans and a black T-shirt almost every day, but it seems like that's your thing too now.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where once we started doing this, trying to wear the same thing just so you don't date yourself in terms of the different seasons and winter versus summer. So I started wearing this SpaceX T-shirt, and then strangely enough, I don't. It seems like they launch so often now that it was like I feel as if I wear my SpaceX T-shirt, then I can contribute to a successful launch.
It does seem like
So
every day now, which is cool.
yeah, and so now it just seems this is my T-shirt I wear.
As not a big space guy, that's me. But I've seen some of the stuff going on. It seems like the 60s, 70s, 80s, like space stuff was huge. 25, 30 years go away. It's not huge for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure. And then Red Bull gets associated. Tesla, Elon gets associated with stuff. And it seems like it's making a comeback tour. Is that a fair assessment, or am I just
well, and I think that a lot of it boils down to the fact that so after all the unfortunate events with the space shuttle program, then that kind of shut everything down for a little while. Then budgetary constraints shut everything down even further, and so now you got people like Elon and Jeff Bezos that are leading the charge to bring everything back up.
And you might be listening. You might be listening, thinking, "How are they going to transition from what they're talking about now to that?" But me, the big J school kind of guy, I know how to do it. So you look at industry. Oh, you want to do it?
Well, no, I was going to say if you're missing a transition, I have one because.
Okay, well you could do it.
No, I just as a guy, we reference this a lot. I'm an Elon fan. I drive a Tesla. I'm Tesla through and through. And then when it's crazy that driving a Model 3 now for almost 4 years, people still will ask me, "Hey, how's that Tesla working out for you? Have any problems with it?" And the answer is always like, "Nope,
no.
Still don't." But it's crazy to believe that it's been 4 years. But one of the things that I tell everybody, once you're in a Tesla, and then if you go back to a gas-powered vehicle, it's like going back and driving a horse. And that would be my transition to
It's good.
To Tori, our guest today from BarnWiz. So welcome to the show.
I was going to say something like how technology doesn't always progress at the speed that you want, and sometimes someone has to lead the charge, which brings on Tori to lead the charge in this world. But I think Tim's was way better, so we're going to go with his.
I mean, it is wild.
Yeah, great to be here. Thank you guys so much for having me. And yeah, horses have really taken the transition from electronic world to a complete digital platform. So,
and if you think about it from a vehicle perspective, we do speak in horsepower, which I'm assuming is horses.
Really?
It is. Why? Do you know why that's the data point that they use to collect? How did that whole thing in either of you like that?
Maybe it's the double horses carriage for pounds. Who knows? I don't know that. That's a
I would assume that it was like you said, Tori, that you went from 1 horse to 2 to 4, and then as that continued to build on that. But it's curious though. How do you make that calculation? I'm sure there is some sort of.
Is your vehicle, Tim, based in horsepower still?
Yeah, I can't remember what it is though. But it's and it's more like torque is really what it's known for, and I don't know. It's fast.
The Plaid model boasts a third electric motor, which boosts combined output to 1,020 horsepower. That's a lot.
That's a lot of horses.
Wow.
That's a whole herd for sure. That's why keeps the horse in their thought of using it for entertainment and for legitimate work.
Wow.
I mean, that's interesting in the sense of, from the training aspect, I think that the horse industry is probably grown exponentially, but yet you identified a need where it's still very antiquated. So tell us a little bit about the problem that you identified, what BarnWiz is, and what problem that you're solving.
Sure. So my background is really I grew up with horses. I rode them. We bred them. I lived out west, so we had the opportunity to ride both Western and English. And then went through college, came to the real world of work, and found I was on the East Coast with no idea where I could board my horse, who the good trainers were, where I could even find tack or equipment for my horse. So I felt like this is odd. And what happens in many sports, I think, is word of mouth is what's used to attract a new client to a business. And so the horse industry used word of mouth. And over years and years of being in the software industry, I worked my career in healthcare, implementing technology in hospitals. I then said, wait a minute, why are we depending on word of mouth in the digital age? And thought there's got to be a better way, and set out to really help modernize the industry.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking to see. I saw some muting of the mics going on. So, in terms of like, how is industry being done? How is that handled now? Is that's still very much paper, clipboard, Excel spreadsheet, and that's one of the things that you're modernizing?
It is slowly modernizing for sure. There are certainly online magazines, and there's Facebook, social media posts, and Instagram. There's online, the industry depends on associations for competitions. And so those have become much more digital in their ability to reach their audience. But when it comes to actually finding local resources, people depend on word of mouth, asking a friend, looking in social media groups, looking in local tack stores or other feed stores for a paper post that somebody may have as an advertisement, or local magazines that are very regionalized to what's available in that area. And all those things are helpful once you use word of mouth. And so I believe that word of mouth is so strong, and many, talk to any friends, where to eat, where to stay,
what to watch on Netflix.
Word of mouth is such a strong, yeah, exactly. It's such a strong tool. So I don't believe that we'll ever eliminate word of mouth, but I think word of mouth alone takes a really long time, especially a long time to grow a business. And so what I really set out to do is to speed up word of mouth and then qualify word of mouth. And I relate it to sort of the horse industry, I think, is a little like the Food and Drug Administration before there was a Food and Drug Administration. So meals were, food was set out in markets, and it was tainted, right? Because there wasn't standards for how hot should it be kept or how should it be cooked. And it caused real health problems for people. And so I sort of correlation between that lack of standards, or I won't say that there's no standards in the industry, because there certainly are standards for competitions and for any of the sports side of it, and any of the betting or any of that piece of it. Even some states have standards for the care of the horse. But overall, there aren't clear standards for training or for overall care. And like you would say, a hotel, for example, has a rating of 1 to 5 stars, and what to experience if you're staying at a 1-star hotel versus a 5-star hotel. And so I think that there's a real opportunity to use the existing mechanisms for credentialing or for rating barns that exist today, and cultivate that to be a broader standard for the whole industry.
So this is a silly question, But I have to ask, did you watch Yellowstone?
Yeah.
And it's just so like, how much of that is like reality? I mean, it was like you look at like when they had to haul the horses from Texas to Montana, or
Hey, don't
Montana
ruin
to
it for me,
Texas.
Tim. I'm only on episode 4.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, like these trailers that they were driving in. I mean, like these haulers were like really, really nice. And then when you talk about the expense of that industry, I mean, you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, this is not just, you know, nickel and dime stuff. I mean, this is large, big money here. Is that true in reality?
In reality, I think, of course, what's seen are professionals in the industry, and so they're going to have the highest value to what they're trying to win, and what they're spending in order to take the horses from places. And so I think the reality is, though, however, there's a huge variety to what how you can enter into the industry. Horses, first of all, they are used for many things. Sport is one of them. Horses are still used in Amish country for farming and for going around. You can go into Pennsylvania and you'll see horse-drawn carriages to this day. They are also used for therapeutic modalities. In other words, people are using them for mental health, PTSD, anxiety, relationship building when there's been real trauma events, and reasons regarding physical ailments, because horses really teach core balance, and they also are quite a diverse animal in terms of they sense a heartbeat from 10 feet away. They sense emotions, they read emotions very easily, and they have a memory, unlike dogs, that can, if in a healthy state, are always friendly and happy to see you. Horses can have a memory if there's been something that's been traumatic or uneasy for them, that can really alter how they perceive one individual versus another individual. And so I think they're a really complex animal, and I think the opportunity is to let more people understand them. I mean, today there's probably 1 in 6 somehow have some interaction with a horse, and I actually think that everyone should be able to interact with a horse for nothing else but for mental therapy and mental health. We joke in the barn, this is your therapy. Your horse is your therapy, because they really do react to your energy.
Are you stuck at your home office, socially distanced coffee shop, or your fancy all bricked out corner office, wondering why no one can see your business and sales are all over the place? Sounds like you need a pro. That's why I developed the Anomaly Academy. Insert clever copy here. Oh, I guess I was supposed to put something else there. Oops. You can grab access to the Anomaly Academy now at zackmillersays.com/Anomaly Academy.